Hey, welcome back to the Boiling Point. I'm me. This is him. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas.
To start us off, we're going to be talking about the use and commonality of Happy Holidays as opposed to Merry Christmas. That's one that really bothers me. We do live in a society in which Christmas is one of the most widely celebrated and respected holidays. I personally don't particularly care for Christmas, but I'm not going to get my panties in a twist if someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, have a Merry Christmas." They're still wishing me a Merry Christmas Day whether I celebrate it or not. So, I'm not going to get all snitty fit if somebody wishes me a Happy Hanukkah. Not Jewish, have no plans to convert, but for the love of God, it's still going to be the 7 days of Hanukkah whether I'm celebrating them or not. The entire point... What?
I think it's 8 days.
This is 6 of one.
Half dozen the other.
The entire point is that these people are wishing you a merry season regardless of whether you celebrate it or not. To say happy holidays to someone so as to not offend anyone or tread on their toes
Bullshit!
is, in effect, bullshit. We as a nation, on the whole, celebrate Christmas. You get the days off, it's a stat holiday, so on and so forth. It's not gonna go away because you don't care for it. And that may sort of seem hypocritical with regards to our last video in which we were like, you shouldn't be protesting a Remembrance Day funeral or parade, because it's all boils down to freedom of speech, right? It's you probably think, well, we have the right to have ours, but they shouldn't have the right to have theirs. It's not so much that. It's more the respect aspect of it. And as much as I'm going to get called a ignorant racist, it tends to be a vocal minority of immigrant groups that have a problem with it. And I mean, I know lots of immigrants, especially people from India, the Sikhs and the Hindus. They love that. They love Christmas. They love the whole assimilation while being able to retain their culture. But they also appreciate the fact that they are in our country and that they can celebrate our country, our culture without fear of reprisals. Whereas there are people that think we should turn our country more into their country, but keeping the rights that they like from this country. It's like, well, if you want our country to be more like your country, why don't you stay there? And yeah, I know I'm going to get the, you're a white supremacist racist. Not that at all. You know what? I have no problem with people that come to this country, and I have no problem with them celebrating, their culture. If someone, like I said, if someone wishes me a Happy Hanukkah or a Festivus Kwanzaa, I'm not going to get all pissy-faced about it. But for the love of God, respect the culture that is in place here. I mean, like I said, I'm not a particularly Christmas-oriented person. I celebrate it because I celebrate it because my family celebrates it. But if I were to live alone and my family was dead, I don't think it would be any different than any other day, except I would be able to sit around getting drunk on eggnog, playing Xbox in my underwear. Face touch. You're getting face touch till you stop it.
And that's where I think, when it comes to Christmas time, everybody should be able to say Merry Christmas if you want to. I'm not going to say Happy Holidays. I don't care if I offend somebody, and I'm not meaning to offend anybody by saying Merry Christmas. I think personally it's a little offensive for me not being able to say Merry Christmas. If I see, again, like you said, if I see a guy that's blatantly Jewish, I'm not going to say Merry Christmas. I'll wish him a Happy Hanukkah, and I'm sure he'll wish me a Merry Christmas in return, or even a Happy Hanukkah. Doesn't really matter. So I think this small minority needs to shut the hell up and take the fact that they're in a nice, free, democratic society and able to have the right to vote and to work and to do what they please, and stop whining about the fact that they want the same laws and the same rules that they had in their own country. I think if they want to have their own rules and want to have a way it was in their own country, I'll buy you a plane ticket. Go the hell back. I don't care. And that leads let's get into something a little bit more funny, because
lighthearted, if you will.
Get us more into that festive mood. In Kingston a couple weeks ago, during the Santa Claus parade, I'm sure you may have heard of it or maybe not have. There was a man, probably drunk, didn't really say in the article, telling kids that the Santa Claus at the parade was not really Santa Claus. and he got arrested for it. We like to believe that the Kingston police
They
arrested him for being drunk in public.
we hope it was for public intoxication as opposed to saying something like that. The report on it was very poorly written and sort of indicated that he did get arrested for telling the kids that it wasn't the real Santa Claus, but it also insinuated that he was more than likely drunk. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the police on that one and say that he was probably arrested for being drunk in public.
Now, every year we hear funny stories, and have read a funny story about people being dumb around Christmas time. And one of the things that is not dumb about Christmas time, and everybody should be taking it seriously, regardless if you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever the hell else, please don't drink and drive. I mean, it's one of the greatest times of the year. All families of all different cultures are getting together. Don't be silly and get yourself into an accident or kill yourself or kill somebody else around this time of year. You know, be smart if you're going to have a couple of drinks, and stay at home or find a cab or do something like that. And I'm not going to try to sound like a whiny baby here. I'm just, you know, I'm sick of hearing stuff like this happen around Christmas time. And it's every year you got to think around Christmas time, if you get in an accident and kill yourself, every year it's going to be the same thing for your family, thinking, hey, this is not that good of a time of year because we lost Joey the other, 2 years ago from drinking and driving.
And on the topic of being intoxicated in public, how many people were drunk on Black Friday? Because, my God, that I think is the most horrid display of humanity I have ever seen. People get
I've lost faith in humanity.
violent on Black Friday, and I'm talking scary, shoot you over a bottle of shampoo violent. We live in a fairly first world society, both us and the United States, and yet we seem to think that it is perfectly acceptable as logical, rational, for the most part well-educated human beings, to just turn to our base animal instincts and go absolutely apeshit on Black Friday. I mean, people were tearing down roll down doors on stores to get $45 off of a frickin' TV. You people need to calm the hell down and maybe take one last shot of espresso in the morning.
I mean, I read it on Facebook there, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say it's my own, but, somebody goes out to save $100 in the United States on a cell phone, breaks a wrist, now has to go to the hospital, pay $600 to get that wrist, bandaged up. I applaud you.
Consumerism at its finest. In the meantime, I think that's about all. Sum it up for us.
I got one last little one, because it's kind of funny too.
Okay.
I don't know when it was or where it was. All I know it was in the States. This is going at you hunters out there. Don't do this or you'll get, not liked very much by many people. A guy went out and he got himself a deer. He was lucky enough to get one, and he decided to put it in the back of his truck like anybody else would, and he put a red nose on it. And he drove into town and told all the kids that Santa's not coming this year, kids. I just killed Rudolph. It's not a very wise decision.
Funny practical joke, briefly.
It's a pretty funny practical joke. But he didn't get arrested for it, but he did get banished from the little area that he was living in. You could understand why. Now, from us at the Boiling Point, we want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Very Merry Christmas. Let me get that out right. And a Happy New Year. We'll probably see you before the New Year. Check us out every Tuesday. We're doing a video. Wednesdays we'll be uploading.
We'll be trying to upload every Wednesday. Last week we did one on the Israel-Gaza conflict, but the whole ceasefire thing made it seem rather irrelevant.
Now, if the ceasefire is lifted and there is more attacks happening in the Gaza Strip, we'll upload it back up.
But from us at the Boiling Point, I'm him, that's me, and Merry goddamn Christmas!